So in the midst of this, all this wonderful stuff is happening, and then here's something to brace yourself for this week. Even a massive trade deal. Trump in Scotland, Trump playing, earlier this morning I'm talking about listening across the dial as I'm driving in here in the middle of the night to do the Stegall show here in Central Time. And I was listening to some Fox News on my satellite radio and listening to some MSNBC and listening to the local PBS station, now funded by listeners, as they should be. And there were observations about even, while Trump played golf in Scotland, there was it was to divert attention. It was to try to escape the Epstein story. Well, there is apparently no escaping the Epstein story. This is 3084 as President Trump is peppered with a question about it.
Bill Clinton, who went to the island 28 times. I never went to the island.
Do you maintain you did not write a letter for Jeffrey Epstein's birthday?
I don't even know what they're talking about. Now, somebody could have written a letter and used my name, but that's happened a lot. All you have to do is take a look at the dossier, the fake dossier.
So all right, how do we, let's gather together. One presume, and it's kind of funny, I don't presume anonymity. I don't know that either. I don't presume unanimous, Trump support on any program. It's a conservative show. We welcome all views, and we're glad to at 855-STEGAL, 855-784-4255. How can we help this go away? And by go away, I don't mean sweep it under the rug. So a couple of thoughts, and then I'll offer it up. In so sharing, I will offer this up to you, because there are so many things happening, so much winning, as the saying goes, so many victories in terms of sanity on climate, sanity on gender, trade deals that are enormously beneficial for the United States of America, peace deals which are going to be beneficial for the world. And I can understand that it drives Trump nuts that he's having to, face all this death of 1,000 cuts that people are trying to inflict on him with Epstein stories. So, to the Attorney General, to Ms. Bondi, to Kash Patel, running the FBI, and to Trump himself, who can make things happen just by saying, "Hey, let's have these things happen." Let's talk a little bit about what should be released, because clearly it needs to be something. I hope that we are past, and I know we're not, but this is wishful thinking. I hope we've gotten past the notion that there must be huge names lurking in the Epstein files, the release of which would destroy careers and ruin reputations to the delight of millions. Here's how we know those probably don't exist. You never know, like you know your own name. But here's a little truth of life that I'll share with you and see if you accept it. If indeed there are big famous names lurking in the Epstein files, do you think that some of them are Republicans? Let's make it like a flowchart. I love flowcharts. If there are huge names in the Epstein files, do you think some of them are Republicans, and maybe there are some people whose identities are being shielded because they're big Republican donors or big Republican office holders? Do you think some of them are Republicans, right? Yes, of course they would be, right? Of course they would be. Now, box number 2 in the flowchart. If indeed there are big Republican names in the Epstein files, as inept, as inert as the Biden White House was, if there was one thing they were somehow able to do, it was launch destructive strikes, clumsily attempted destructive strikes, at Trump and at Republicans and at conservatives every single day. These files have been in their custody for 4 years, 4 torturous years of Biden. They had access to the whole shebang. You don't think they went diving through there to see if they could find big Republican names? The absence of such a divulgence proves to you that there are no big Republican names in there, or even medium-sized Republican names. They would have dug deep. They would have dug deep to find a county Republican chair in Nevada. They would have found some. Oh, look who we found. The absence of that shows you the absence of big Republican names. And if there aren't any big Republican names, the chances are there aren't a lot of big Democrat names either. I mean, in terms of the catnip for millions, the client list that everyone has craved for a long time. And one of the reasons they've craved it, and these folks need to own this a little bit, is there have been people on our side, there have been people in the conservative commentariat who said, oh, you know, they're going to be big names. They like primed you for the release of big names, and they didn't know anything of the kind. Now, that having been said, is there stuff in there that should come out? Sure. I'm Mr. Transparency, Mr. Divulgence, but here's the thing, and I leave this with you, and I'd love your thought about it in the next segment. 855-784-4255, 855-STIGO. As soon as you say, well, release everything and let the chips fall where they may. Well, I guess you can't release victims, can you? But not everybody in there is a victim. Sometimes there are accusers, and shocker, keep the car on the road, sometimes accusers lie. And because of that, that means there may be names, probably people that you and I have never heard of. There may be names lurking around on some page 534,000 of these files that are some poor innocent schlub who's been named by some lying accuser. So with that in there too, and I don't know who's lying and who's not, it kind of makes release everything a bit of a sticky wicket, doesn't it? It makes it a tricky thing to do. Or do you want to and then just let everybody put out their own brush fires because it then becomes their problem? Your thoughts, please.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.